English 121, The Rhetorical Situation, from the Allen and Bacon Guide, pages 2 through 21. This is the rhetorical situation. You may have also heard it called the writing situation or the rhetorical triangle. This is just a visual way of representing the various components that go into a text and that need to be considered when you are reading both closely and critically. To begin, always consider the writer behind the text. Who has chosen to compose the text? And then from there, ask why. What was the writer's purpose that they were trying to achieve in composing the text? Also consider the audience. Who is the text geared toward, and with whom is the writer trying to achieve their goals? Also consider the form or genre that the text takes. How is the text constructed? And finally, what is going on in the context surrounding the text that might somehow influence the way it is composed by the writer or received by the audience? Always consider the purpose of a text. Writers compose texts out of a desire to achieve a particular rhetorical aim. Ask yourself, what am I trying to accomplish with a text, or what was this writer trying to accomplish? What does the writer want the readers to believe, see, or do? Texts are written because their authors want to express, to inform, to explore, to analyze and synthesize ideas, to persuade their audience, to reflect on an issue, and many more different purposes. Understanding the writer's goals can help you understand the different ways that texts are structured and developed, and can help you clarify the writer's relationship to the audience. Also, always consider the motivations that a writer has. Writers compose texts because of a motivating occasion or exigency that gets them going. Exigency is an urgent or pressing cause that requires immediate action. Rhetoricians use the term to describe the event or occasion that causes a writer to begin writing. Exigency can be internal, as when the writer feels some stimulation or desire to address a rhetorical aim within him or herself, or it can be external, as when a writer is for some reason obligated or promoted to pursue a rhetorical aim. For this course, you'll be writing out of external exigency, because the syllabus and grading requirements obligate you to do so. However, ideally, you will also write because you have become engaged with an intellectual problem and want to say something significant about it. In addition to purpose, always consider the audience of a text. Writers ask questions of their audience when they sit down to compose a text, including what are my readers' values and assumptions, what do they already know or believe about my subject, and how much do they care about it. It's very important then to accurately identify your audience. What you know about your readers, including their familiarity with your subject matter, their reasons for reading, their closeness to you, their values and beliefs, affects most of the choices you make as a writer. You must be sure of who your audience is before you can begin to write. Sometimes you will be writing for a very general audience. This is a large, non-specific audience that shares just a few qualities in common, such as the entire United States. Because you can't account for everyone in such a broad group, you'll need to make some assumptions about their knowledge and beliefs. For example, this could be a popular audience or an academic audience. Sometimes you'll be writing for a select audience, which is a small, more narrow group of people to whom a text is addressed. For example, this could be a board of trustees or a neighborhood association. And sometimes you'll be writing for just a single audience, which is one person to whom a text is addressed. For example, this could be your professor. There are also some types of audiences that are a little bit more difficult to identify. You might have an implied audience, which is merely a stable target based on your own assumptions about the knowledge and beliefs of your more general audience. For example, you might assume that you're writing for moms or other single parents in the United States. You also might have an academic audience. The most common general audience in academic writing is an academic audience. You want to think of this audience as student peers who have approximately the same level of knowledge and expertise in the field as you do, who are engaged by the question that you're addressing, who want to read your writing and be surprised in some way, and who maintain the same standards of citation and originality as you and your instructors. Finally, once you know who your audience is, you must analyze or make judgments about their knowledge of the issue at hand, their motives for reading, their relationship to the subject matter, and their general values, interests, attitudes, and beliefs. Consider how a change in audience can affect the content of a piece. If you're writing, for example, for your friend versus if you're writing for a professor. Also consider the genre. Writers ask questions of their form when they sit down to compose a text, including what kind of document am I writing, and what are its requirements for structure, style, and document design. The term genre refers to categories of writing forms that follow certain conventions of style, structure, approach to subject matter, and document design. The genre of a text creates strong expectations within the reader and places specific demands on writers. Even when writers deviate from convention, they tend to do so in a conventional way. You can see many examples of genre types, including personal writing, academic writing, pop culture texts, civic or democratic texts, professional texts, and even literary text outlined in Chapter 1 of the Allen and Bacon Guide. Always consider these components of the rhetorical situation when reading a text closely and critically.